Absolutely. You could be sitting in the Hall of Fame and the world will know your name. When you hear the script by Will I Am, then you know it's time. It's time for Personality Profile. I'm Lexis Bill, and I so look forward to Thursday evenings where we get to spend time with amazing people doing great things here in Ghana. And this evening, I have one such very wonderful guest. We have a real good conversation coming up. So if you're still in traffic, turn up the volume. We'll keep you company. You're going to enjoy this conversation. If you're at home, you can kick up your feet on the couch and probably grab some juice or something because we're about to delve into a very good conversation. This evening, I spend time with royalty. Yeah, I'll explain. Calm down. I'll explain. So last weekend, people from all walks of life thronged the Jebrim, the Derby ground at the Minsha Palace for the Grand Derby to climax the 25th anniversary of the installment of Asante Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. Dignitaries from far and near bearing gifts came paid homage to Asante on the occasion of the Silver Jubilee. In fact, the president commended Asante for his exemplary leadership, saying for the past 25 years he served as a symbol of unity, progress, and tradition of the Ashanti Kingdom, and indeed for the entire nation. So this evening we decided to go into his home. Yes, I mean literally. We decided to delve into the life of a king's daughter. Otumfuo's daughter is my guest today. A very, very well-accomplished, industrious woman. She's a trained medical practitioner with major interest in global public health. And she continues to practice medicine. She's had experience working at the 37 Military Hospital, Confanochi Teaching Hospital, and a few other places, including Caryn Health International, as a resident medical officer. Now, away from all of this, she also has a in-health medical solution, that's a company, that focuses on healthcare, customer service training, medical supplies, medical tourism, health and preventative medicine education. Now, in-health products line is also another branch of her business. She's an entrepreneur. And that in-health product line produces Oheneba detergents. And I'm sure you probably have heard it or seen people, talk about it. I see her doing some very beautiful ads. And I'm thinking that she probably needed to get into arts as well because of her, her ad delivery. My goodness. Now, she's also the founder of a non-profit organization called Surviva, focusing on creating awareness and educating women on cervical cancer. Dr. Caryn Agyeman Prempeh Oheneba is my guest on Personality Profile. Akwaba.
Yaminia.
Yambon Chinia na se yen sadu enfen no akwaba na.
Debbie.
Adwaso den kaminim sapao.
Eba sadi Alexis men try.
Men yes men.
Yes me ya yes.
Debbie de omu hu se me sadu adwa de me yade.
Someone actually said you do the buga the opposite way. And
who are these haters of mine? Why are they spoiling my what is this? It is not true.
I used to think I was worse, but Charlie, yours.
Oheneba, it is not true. Believe me.
Okay.
It is not
I think
true.
I need to call you for a dance competition.
Look, in fact, I should have let the cultural troupe come. And I will show you something small. So nice to see you. How are you?
I'm good. From the fun over the weekend.
Yes.
We had to snap back into reality.
I can imagine. Well, that is your reality. Wasn't that your reality?
Well, I guess, yeah. Right, yes.
I mean, how was it like seeing the colorful display of rich Ghanaian culture, the kente in abundance, the many people who thronged Jebrim, the Minsha Palace to celebrate your father?
25 years of greatness. I'm sure you'd expect something magnificent like that.
Yeah.
We sort of as a family have always been happy to have such an amazing ruler. Not just a father, but a king to many.
Yeah.
I always say that I wouldn't sit somewhere and just say that my father is just my father. He's a father of all. Especially if you love education, you understand that any child who is from whatever aspect, dimension of the world or Ghana,
Yeah.
always, once you're interested in education, you're his friend.
Wow.
And so we share him as a father with the good children who are interested in
Yeah.
education. And so we were all excited as a family,
Yeah.
and I was, beyond happy to
Yeah.
see him clock 25 years of greatness.
Yeah.
And so it was expected.
What stood out for you last weekend? I'm sure you've been to many Akwasidai.
Yes,
You've seen
yes,
the gathering of the chiefs.
Yes,
You've seen royalty
yes,
come
yes,
to the palace and whatnot. But last weekend was a little different.
I think it was the joy of the people, the fact that people from all facets of the world. I mean, I saw people on camels, and I was like, whoa. And it's just the way people were excited to come out to enjoy that day, and how colorful and how cultural every individual who came was ready to sort of display what they could or what they understood. And so you could see that even at a point when the crowd was so packed, people were still ready to sort of follow the crowd and see what was going on.
Yeah.
And so the display of culture that we had that day was beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
I can imagine. I mean, but for you as a family member, and I'm sure for a lot of the other family members, does it take something away from the connection to the royalty? Because when you see all that displayed, everybody now celebrating it, it doesn't feel personal again.
No. Do you know what? It's actually the opposite. It makes you feel good knowing that you belong to this family that is so important and so rich in culture that everyone wants to have a little taste of.
Okay.
And so it actually makes you feel closer to each other, but then you sort of feel like, oh, so someone out there finds you important enough to want to see or know what you are about.
Yeah.
And whenever I talk about my father, I say he's a king and he's the one that we are celebrating.
Yeah.
So we don't want to take the light off him.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, he's a king and his queen mother is his sister, who is adorable.
Yeah.
And so it complements it, and it makes the home more family, And so with such intimacy, you expect everyone to want to have a little piece of it, and it's okay. I mean, it's
interesting you mentioned the Queen Nana Kunedu Yadom, the third.
Yes.
Yeah, and she came right after Nana Ifyakobi.
Yes, her mother named after. Yes, that's my grandmother.
That's your grandmother.
Peace, yes.
Wow, that's totally wonderful.
Yeah, she was.
Now, earlier you mentioned his love for education and how he wants to see people, who are interested in education flourish. He set up the Otumfuo Educational Fund.
Yes.
He's had a very important role in KNUST, our alma mater.
Yes, the best university in Ghana.
Hallelujah, somebody. Let them know. The chancellor of KNUST. But when you look at the 25 years that we're celebrating, what are you proudest of about him and his achievements?
To be fair, I could say this because I could be biased, but the fact that he's getting the youth involved and wanting to know more about Ashanti culture. Decades ago, it used to be when your mother or your grandmother was going to Menchia or to a funeral or a cultural display, you sort of felt like it was an older person's activity. But today, because of the touch he's added to Asanteman, the young want to know more about the Ashanti culture.
Right.
And that's beautiful. I mean, the education aspect is amazing because I don't know if you saw it on social media, the professor that carried the golden stool.
The golden stool.
Yes.
I hear he's a biology professor or something, yeah?
Exactly. So it sort of adds that touch to it. It makes you know that he's actually brought education closer to culture. And so it's not to say that, in the olden days where when you see culture, you sort of detached it from education. Now it's one.
Yeah.
And so the young people are willing to learn, and it's making, the generations after us are going to be more interested in what's this amazing ruling this amazing Asante man is all about.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Well, good stuff. We'll talk more about royalty, but you have carved a very beautiful career for yourself.
I try.
As a medical practitioner, as an entrepreneur. Like I said, I wonder how you're able to do all of these things that you're doing. Meanwhile, you have a full-time job as a mom as well.
Yes, a mother of two. Yes.
But
yes.
you do it so well. I saw some of the videos about your products, and you do it. One of the ads really stood out for me when you were talking about the wholesale outlet in town. I said, "Mon friend is a sia, ne phone ne die."
Yes.
I
Skywell.
said, "Obefa se sia."
Yes.
Oheneba detergents.
Yes.
Well, if you have heard of the brand, she is the brain behind it. We'll get to talk about how a medical doctor is making all of these things and
Yes.
still looking fab.
Thank
But let's
you.
talk about growing up and your upbringing
Okay.
in the royal family. Where were you born? Where did you grow up?
Okay, that's a very interesting one. So I was actually born in Kumasi, and I grew up schooling my early days in Elmina.
Oh,
That's in the central region.
so your mom is Fanti.
My mom is Fanti, yes. She's from Elmina.
Right.
And I had a good time of my childhood growing up in a school called Ula Girls.
Oh, okay.
It's a convent, but then they sort of have, I know, right?
I was like, well. At what point did this lady say I'm for this?
We had the Roman sisters and the Roman fathers bring us up, but then it's in the hope that when you start early, you get the kids to get interested in it. But not all of us ended up.
Not you.
No, not me. No.
Why not you though? Why didn't you want to be?
I don't know. I think I had one of my uncles say that, hey, young one or something like that, and I just sort of drew away from it. But then it was very good in terms of discipline.
Okay.
So there was a point in time where I wanted to be closer to my father.
Okay.
So I wanted to be in Kumasi. But then my grandmother, may she rest in peace, said that additionally, Cape Coast Mfantifone ho Debbie she ko school to aso honum, which today I'm very grateful, because if I'd come to Kumasi, I would have probably been swallowed or flooded in the royalty and just felt like there was no need for me to go to school.
Yeah.
And, just thrown away, basically.
Oh, okay.
And so I was away in Elmina, and I enjoyed my schooling as much as I had discipline from the Reverend sisters and the Reverend fathers, because it was a Catholic school.
Right.
Turned out to help me very well.
So for the most part of your time in Elmina, Daddy wasn't there.
No, but then I will come back home
Yeah.
to Daddy,
Okay.
wherever he was. He made sure that he was available when I wasn't in school.
Yeah.
And he did that so well. I don't know. It was never a space or a gap. I always felt like there was a father, there was a mother.
Okay.
However, there was family. My family is extended, so there was always someone available to sort of
Yeah.
go on with you and correct you, kind of, if you get what I mean.
What was your earliest recollection of the whole royalty situation?
So growing up, I grew up to my grandmother being a queen mother. So as early as possible, I knew that there was that importance. However, she was very disciplined. So she sort of instilled in you at a very tender age that, don't kind of, you have to respect your elderly, and you have to, respect your fellow human as well.
Okay.
And at the age of 15, when my father sort of had to assume the position of being the king, it made it not so difficult for me, because I had to accept that, yes, this is a role he's going to go into, and it's a very important role. And you shouldn't sit there and think that, oh, my father. No, you're going to have to share him with everybody else, and you should be able to behave yourself and not misbehave. I haven't been the easiest child to raise, to be honest with you. And every time I get the opportunity, I say I need to apologize to my father, because I've turned some curves that wasn't really good, but
And
He
this
did.
is even with the convent. Wow.
I
I
know.
can imagine without it.
I know. He's done. He's done. I've put him through some tough times, and
I'm
uh,
curious, like what?
whoa. I don't think we need to talk about that. I just have to, for the rest of my life, keep saying thank you and then sorry, to him. And yeah, and I think my children are going to see that I've learned to listen to my parent.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I'm going to have to instill in them so they know
Oh,
that you
really?
have to listen to your parent. Because some of the turns, when I'm turning and he's like, don't turn, you turn and you hit some rock and it's like, Jesus, why didn't I listen? You
Yeah.
know, kind of. So it wasn't. It wasn't difficult,
Yeah.
I must say, because he instilled in us discipline.
Okay. So, 25 years ago, April 1999, there's all this pomp and pageantry in Manchia. Your father is a king now.
Yeah.
He's taken away somewhere. He's
Yes.
back in the palanquin and all of
Yes.
those things. And it's a big deal. But for you at that age, what did you really appreciate the enormity, the magnitude of that, that
I
moment?
I think I still have flashbacks of that day. All I knew was that after this day, I wasn't going to have my father on my own again. And he was going to be a king. Did I understand what was going to happen? No, I didn't. All I knew was that he was going to be a king and it was going to be a good turn.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Did I know that, he was going to have to attend to everyone and even turn a lot of people into education, a lot of people's interests into other things, mentor a lot of great people? Did I know? I didn't, because I was 15 at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, going on 16. So I don't think I really understood it very well.
Yeah.
But growing up, I sort of picked up as I grew.
Yeah.
And so all I knew was that he's always been a king to me, to be honest with you. So I think it dawned on me more as I grew.
Okay.
And realized that, oh my God, he's done the impossible. And sometimes some of the things he does for the whole country, Ghana, some of the decision making, some of the influence he has, I'm like, whoa, he is greater than what I even imagined.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so we are proud as children to have him as a father,
Yeah.
and my children will probably grow up and feel advantaged to
Yeah.
have him as a grandfather. Yes.
Do you think that, with the benefit of hindsight, do you think that if he wasn't a king, life would have been a lot better with regards to the kind of connection that you had with him?
Selfishly, the personal relationship, yes, and that's selfish. However, I still like what I am today. I love it
Okay.
because I've had better human relation. I've had better human development in the sense that I get, in as much as I sort of help people are willing to help me because of the good deeds of my father.
Okay.
And so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I haven't had a favor because of my father.
Yeah.
No, I have.
Yeah.
And that's why it's easy for me to extend it to other people, because my father as an individual is welcoming, and he's an ever helpful person. When you have a challenge, no matter what, he's willing to help you, provided it's for a good cause.
Okay.
That's one thing I can say. He is a very disciplinarian, and if you're taking a step or a move that is illegal or shoddy, or no, he doesn't entertain it.
Okay.
And he will say as it is to you and tell you that this 10 you're doing or whatever you're going to do, I don't want to be a part of it,
Okay.
because this is not this is not going to turn out well. So that's one thing I can say. It's helped me in certain aspects. However, it's also posed a huge expectation of me, and so I am to be aware of every step that I take, because I don't live as an individual, but attached to his name. So I need to think about the consequence of every step that I take.
You're a princess. So there are eyes on the princess, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I have to remember that all the time.
Yeah.
And I try to remind myself, in as much as I've made few mistakes in the past.
Yeah.
Growing up, I sort of understand it better. So when I take every step I take, I ask myself, is this going to have a negative impact on my father? If it is, I have to sit back.
This is so arduous. You should have just stayed in the convent.
Lexis.
But anyway, as was there anything like the princess treatment in the royal house in Menchia or in the home? Was there anything like that?
Yes, I must confess, yes. You've always been treated like my grandmother would say, "Oh, your Oheneba."
Okay.
And in Menchia or Ashanti to correct myself, once Oheneba, you're forever an Oheneba. And so you are accorded that respect. And in as much as you are treated as a princess and not the Cinderella princess, no.
Not the one we read about?
No.
Oh, really?
A reality, yes. That's reality.
I was there.
No. That's reality. It doesn't mean that.
Like I thought, like when you're stepping out, they're throwing petals, like bougainvillea petals, and you walk on them. And
No.
You have like 7 maids, and
no, that's
it wasn't that.
No, that's for the
Oh, dear.
storybooks. That's reality, yes. However, you're accorded the respect from even elderly people.
Okay.
But then you have to reciprocate it and let them know that, your father, like I said, is the king, or my auntie is the queen mother.
Yeah.
And it's not about you. And so you don't have to start stepping on people's face and talking anyhow. Yes, you have to respect yourself if you want to enjoy that position.
Okay.
Yeah.
So according to Ashanti man, the queens are selected matrilineally.
Yes.
So you are not in line to be a queen.
No, me a bemaba.
We are bemaba.
Yes.
Enti bemaba de onye hima.
Debbie.
Obaba na ye.
Yes, we are baba dia. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
This year.
Yes, we are this year. No credit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
In as much as you enjoy being a princess,
Yeah.
we are bemaba. And you have to.
What kind of career paths did you want to chart as a young person? Did you always want to be in the medical profession?
No. So as a very young age, so I wanted to be a mining engineer.
A mining engineer?
Yeah, I wanted to. So, okay.
Well, you've been having a look at the golden stool, huh?
No. So I was looking up to be a female version of Sir Sam Jonah.
Are you serious?
Yes, I wanted to be. Yes.
Wow.
However, I spent a weekend in Obuasi with him and my dad at my early age. He took me down to the mines then.
Yeah.
And I realized that it was very dark down there. So I asked the controller of the vehicle to take me back. And he says, we can't go back, my dear. We have to keep going until we come out of it. And so I think at that time I got discouraged. And I was like, no, I don't think I want to be down there. However, recently I realized that, the mining sector has changed tremendously.
Right.
And so you can even eat down there, have a good time down there. So maybe I should have just,
stay
stay there. So yeah, that's
I
story.
see.
I wanted to be a female version of Sir Sam Jonah.
And he's a great man.
Amazing, super. Whoa.
Oh, he's a great man. I spent some time in Obuasi as well. I think he has a Sam Jonah estate sort of in there.
Yes,
that
he's
a place
great
that is
man
named
in the
after him and all of that.
Yeah, in the
Oh,
mining sector,
dear.
yeah. He's left a mark. So yeah, it will be quite difficult for anyone to fill the shoes.
So absolutely, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And he needs to hear you say all these wonderful words
dear.
about him. Yeah, we need to share that with him. But then it changed to what? Medical
To
sciences?
medical school. So that started after after Joya says, I went to St. Rose's.
St.
So,
Roses.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
I'm a purple check. My
Okay.
year group 2001. They're
Okay.
listening to me.
Oh, are they tuned in now?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
yes,
girls.
Yes.
Shout out to all the Roses girls.
All the Rosa girls.
Yeah.
Yes, purple checks.
If you attended St. Rose's, you can send us a WhatsApp as well on 055
Laureen wants me to shout out to her, so in the group chats,
Okay.
Laureen, I'm mentioning your name, yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
so St. Rose's, obviously continue the Catholic upbringing again.
Right.
which was another book.
It was following you, girl.
Everywhere I went.
It was literally following you, and you're so stubborn. You just decided not
I
to.
just decided not to be a reverend sister.
Dear.
But I love my Catholic church. Bless me. So from there, I had to do my A-levels in Headington Girls' School in Oxford.
In Oxford, okay.
Yes. Then I came back to KNUST for medical school.
So at this point, you were convinced you wanted to get into medicine.
Yes. From St. Rose's, I was.
Who influenced that? Dad?
My dad, yes.
He wanted you to be a doctor?
Yes, he wanted me to be a doctor.
Okay.
Yes. He's always loved education, and he felt like if you're doing so well, why not be pushed to the highest, level? You know, our parent, today things have changed, but then it was either you're a doctor or you're a lawyer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he always wanted the best for me. He felt like, if you like studying and you're doing so well, why not push you to the best?
Yeah.
And so I ended up as a doctor. However, I wanted to add other facets of myself. So I came up with Seviva when I was in 5th year. I'd gone to the consulting room, and then for the obs and gynae rotation, every woman that was diagnosed, obviously had been diagnosed of cervical cancer, was found in a terminal stage. Whereas back in the UK, my little experience I had there, we had screening for the cervical cancer. So I was a bit confused. I was like, okay, it's such world apart. How come people are not caught early in this country, and then this is happening? Then I did a research actually, and realized that even at that time there was a cervical cancer center in Bator. So I traveled all the way to Bator to do my community health.
Okay.
I remember my grandma saying, "Hey, when I walk on, why in a besha was so?" And I'm like, people are going to Boko. Nobody's taking care of them. So yeah, I went there, took my data, and I noticed that even with Bator that had a cervical cancer center, 86% of the cohorts that I used didn't have an idea of what cervical cancer was.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I noticed that it was a gray topic. And so I sat down and I asked questions. I asked, from a research perspective, how we're going to address that issue. And I noticed that we can't just get up and say we're going to treat unless we educate the populace about it. Okay. And that's when I started talking about cervical cancer all over the country, and I used social media. Then I don't think it was very common, so I sort of used it, and it's helped. I mean, every January I hear people talk about cervical cancer, which makes me very happy. Yeah. However, over the past 2 years since I started having kids, I've been a bit slow with Seviva. Okay. Because of childbearing and whatnot, and in business. So we will take it back now that it's made an impact.
Are you still in the consulting room though?
Yes, I took maternity leave because of my son. Yeah. But then I'm going to go back. Yes.
You're going to go back, and you're with Claron, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm still with Claron.
With Claron
Health International. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when doctors or people in your profession, when you see them do entrepreneurship and see them doing other things, you get the impression that maybe they're tired of being in the consulting room.
No. So I've had that question before. People have asked me how Oheneba detergents came about, and the story is very interesting. I took a time off maternity. I mean, let's call it fertility, because I wanted to have kids, and I sort of have a plan at every point in my life.
You have a plan?
Yes.
Okay.
So I said, I'm going to have kids now. I'm going to stop.
And so
studying.
it means everything else has to stop.
That's what I did.
Oh, wow.
Because I have a working habit where I don't stop. When I'm working, I'm working. I don't do anything else.
Wow.
I'm sort of addicted to working. I love it. It's sort of a surge, and I just want to work.
Yeah.
So I noticed that if I didn't put a stop to it, then this chapter wasn't going to exist. And so I put a stop to it, and I went on that journey. Well, when I started that journey, February in the UK, obviously COVID started December.
Yeah.
The previous year. Then I sat down as a doctor trying to understand what COVID-19 was, 2019. I still couldn't get it, but I was in the UK. So I said, I would rather be in my country. Because when Ebola broke out, I was in Ghana, working at 37. So I was like, I would rather be in my country and help than be elsewhere. So I jumped on the flight to Ghana in February. And in March, there was a lockdown. In the lockdown, there was a need for, obviously, sanitizers.
The hand sanitizers and all of those. Yeah.
Detergent. And there was a shot, there was a shortage of it in this country.
Yeah.
And with my biomedical background, I sat in my kitchen and started mixing chemicals so that I could also help with the shortage of the detergent and the sanitizers.
Right.
I did it. It worked. I started supplying. Initially, I gave them out to family members. I'll deliver it to you and say, you can have it whenever you
we used to bath with it, literally.
I know.
Everybody, hey, wherever you go, you have a hand sanitizer.
Yes. Because at that point, as a medical practitioner, I still didn't have a grasp of the whole COVID-19.
The COVID thing, yeah.
So I said, okay, then we're going to prevent it.
Yes.
In whatever way we can. And so my trial or my testing and mixing gave birth to Oheneba detergent. And so that sort of translated into my factory, and then I continued, and the team I worked with was super, so I didn't want to stop. And that's how come Oheneba detergents came to birth.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I thought at some point you were like, I'm just done with this whole sitting in the consulting room thing. Let me go and look for money, and then the business
I was actually
started.
supposed to sit at home because I've taken leave without pay to go on a fertility treatment.
Okay.
And so having to sit at home, just doing nothing, I just couldn't.
You couldn't.
Yeah, so I came up with Oheneba detergent, and then
Yeah.
Gradually, we're adding on to it.
You know, at the time, I know people literally also took advantage of the need to get into that business. But it was for the period. I mean, there were people who became importers. People were importing face shields.
Yes.
But
Actually.
me, I should say Mecca will be out, because I know some people who imported some 20,000, 100,000 face shields.
And what made the prices go up.
Charlie, the prices were up and they were not sold. I'm sure somebody has boxes of face masks.
Sitting there, no, cry, Charlie.
Oh, Charlie, if you are one of those, I'm sorry. So hopefully there'll be another need for us.
No, please. Doctors will suffer. We beg you. We don't want any pandemic again. Hey.
No, it's not pandemic. It doesn't have to be a pandemic. Maybe they will say some eclipse. We need face shields.
Oh, okay. That one too. That one will be nice. Yeah.
Because I'm out for Boka.
Charlie.
Ohema, I'm out for Boka.
But when you talk about outbreaks, there are doctors. Because after Ebola and COVID, Charlie, we are tired.
I totally agree, and we lost so many souls. May their souls rest in peace. That so many people, went into producing these things as a business, and some finished when it all died down. But you decided to continue and create some value out of it.
Yes, because I noticed that the team I started with had committed to it. And my little advice, even though I haven't done MBA, I haven't done any business, but my father's a businessman. And so I hope that is the genes that has helped me. I believe in starting small and growing gradually. What I've noticed here in Ghana, at least that's what I know, I can use this, as a study, is that people like to start boom. And then when they're not able to sort of control it, then they let go. However, if you try and start in the capacity that you can control,
Yeah.
and grow it as the year goes, it makes it better,
Okay.
and it's sustainable. So the sustainability is the problem.
Yeah.
Being able to maintain and sustain it and
Yeah.
grow gradually. It doesn't have to be, exponential growth,
Yeah.
but gradually you grow, and then the team will see the growth as well with you. So the team sort of grow with you,
Yeah.
and not just, you start today and then you're at 0.1000 tomorrow. No, that's not how business is created. And I also believe that no matter the position in your company, get your hands dirty, be part of it. People see me get on the ground and get my hands dirty in the mixing, and even in, buying on Mother's Day hampers. I went out there and got my own hampers, put them in the back of the van, and then I went, doing my own hampers. That way I take that cost from the consumer.
Okay.
In today's world and the way finances are going, you want to find a way of bringing down the cost on the consumer, because everything is already pushed on the consumer.
Yeah.
So get your hands dirty as a leader so that your team will follow. Because if you do bossy, it makes it difficult for them to sort of flow with you.
You seem to be having a very good hang of this whole entrepreneurship journey, right? I mean, I see this is a whole masterclass on leadership and whatnot. What's the biggest challenge you've encountered in this entrepreneurship journey?
It's the exponential increase in prices of raw material.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
So today you're telling your consumer that something is A, and then you go back to production and raw material is like triple the price. And so you have to come back and tell your consumer that I'm so sorry, which is not professional.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest challenge now.
It's probably what the people who are buying cement are dealing with today.
Yes,
Because,
yes. Cement is another issue that needs to be.
Today in the news, it was all about the prices of cement skyrocketing and all of that.
At some point, it has to stay so that you can plan ahead. Because now, when you're running a business in the country, you sort of can't plan even 3 months ahead.
It's crazy.
It's impossible. Yeah.
What's the biggest lesson you have learned?
As a business owner, to be part of the team and not boss.
Okay.
So a leader should not always be on top, but to be part of the team so that the workers will feel comfortable to correct you. Because sometimes when you're sitting on the swivel chair and, swiveling left and right, the person on the ground knows what's going on down there. And so if you're not in touch with them, you probably will keep swiveling, not knowing what's going on down there.
Right.
And then the next thing you realize, the whole framework is a bit shaky.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, lots of messages are coming in. Quentin Metal says, greetings to my madam. My regards to her. Ifwa is asking, Lexis, how did Oheneba meet her husband?
Oh, dear.
Okay.
I don't discuss my private life.
Okay. I see. My name is Junior. I went to St. Rose's Junior, really. And Anita Solomon sends me a message and says, well done to Oheneba. I didn't know she went to St. Rose's. Now that makes a lot of sense. That's from a very good friend, Anita Solomon. Anita, you need to take me on a bicycle ride soon, okay? Ooh. And regards from Shelly Akwa Harrison as well. Going out to you, Oheneba. Yes. Okay. Good stuff. Anyway, so since we're on the topic of your business, which is the detergents, Oheneba detergents and whatnot, I think I heard you talk about one of the detergents that mothers can use to wash their babies' bottles and whatnot, because of the scientific combination of nyama nyama bia also and it's not harsh for the. Tell us a little about it and then tell people where they can get that, because I saw that ad that you did.
Yes, Oheneba baby bottle cleaner is my baby, and it's a plant-based formulated baby bottle cleaner that is far away from the harsh chemicals that we normally use to produce the detergent or the soaps that are used, because the baby's tummy is very sensitive, and as a medical doctor and as a new mother, I sort of realized that I needed to find a formulation that will be kind to the baby's stomach until they grow.
Okay.
Now, living in Ghana, I had to buy the imported ones, which was expensive.
Yeah.
The 500 ml bottle was expensive. And so after formulating it and costing it, I noticed that I could produce it locally and cheaper, but same quality or if not better. And that helped me. So I wanted to let all mothers also enjoy it so that they can use Oheneba baby bottle cleaner for the baby's bottle, and whatever they used to eat, their dummies, use that to clean the bottles, or the stuff that they put in their mouth, so that it would prevent any harsh chemicals, because over the period of using the chemicals, they do sort of accumulate in the bottles, the spoons, the dummies and stuff. So Oheneba baby bottle cleaner is the baby of Oheneba detergent.
Oh, beautiful. So I'm sure for those who want to find that, they can find it on your social media or something.
Yes, and then you can find it in ABC Mother Care, which is in Hacho. Sky Baby, Sky World, they are in Accra. Mokola.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, and then I have it.
I'm also from Ombefa.
I know from Ombefa. Skyworld. I'm from Ombefa. We have it in Amalina as well.
Okay.
And then Hetty's Mother Care in East Legon. We have it in
almost everywhere.
Almost everywhere.
That's
yes,
good.
Yes.
That's good. Look, I think you've done well for yourself. It's amazing. We're grateful that you let us in a little bit into the life of a princess, a real life princess, not the one that we see in Disney movies. At least you told us that it's not like what we see in the Disney movies, because I thought it was, because Oheneba Dienka ube ni de intuma se form na wonam so oni e bontwini na yesa de jotata. But tell me, if you had to come back, would you rather a less exposed family that doesn't have all the regalia about, royalty and all the noise and all the public display?
For certain aspect of my life, and especially my private life, yes, I would have rather been from a more private family. Because I say this because a little wrong turn is amplified, and people sort of forget that you are allowed to make mistakes in life. Not to repeat the mistakes, but you're allowed to make mistakes. So yes, because of that. However, to a greater extent, no, I wouldn't. I love my family that I came out from.
Yeah.
I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything. Yes. I wouldn't.
What is one thing you love about Otumfuo Osei Tutu II? I'm sure you have a lot of things, but what's the topmost?
One. He being a disciplinarian. Yes. Very firm, and very disciplined.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I know you don't like to talk about private life, right? But this particular one, I need you to speak to it. So, you know how, maybe I watched too many movies, right? But you know how the royal families, they like to get people to marry from royal families as well. And if you go Meghan Markle, you probably might have to move to another country.
Yes.
So now you understand my question, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, now answer.
Ideally,
it
will make it easier if you went that route.
Is
of
it?
Marrying someone familiar to the Ashanti or Ashanti Kingdom. One, I've grown to believe. I mean, I was a bit resistant, but then I've grown to believe that it makes it easier, because if you marry someone who understands the culture or is familiar with Asanteman and the rule, they appreciate you better. They know where you're coming from, and so they respect you better. When you move away from, the further you move away from it, the more difficult it is. But then, before you experience that difficulty, you might think, why should you choose who I end up with for me? But it's for your own good. Because that way, the person appreciates where you're coming from better.
Oh, I see.
From my experience, though.
Okay. So in your case, are you still in the Royal League?
No.
You're not. I knew you were stubborn. Oh, I see.
Lord.
Well, that's
But
interesting.
I think I would want my kids to conform to it. It'll make it easier.
It will make it easier
Yeah.
from your experience.
From my experience, yes. It will make it a lot easier.
Mm. You had a hard time trying to get people to understand you?
Yes, growing up, yeah. But then I think I rather didn't understand what I was being told. I don't know if you get what I mean.
No.
So at that point, maybe I thought I wasn't being understood.
Okay.
But I rather should have understood what I was being thought.
Okay.
So I didn't know the consequence. I just, felt like a young girl with a lot of energy, thinking that, I know my rights. You've been to school, so you know what you're doing, but you don't, because you are from a certain family. You're not just, a random girl walking around. No, you come from a family, and things are done in a certain way, so you have to conform to it.
Yeah.
However, if you don't understand what you're being thought or being told, then you sort of want to, not to say rebel, but you don't understand it. So you're like, why don't you understand me? But it would have been easier if you just take it as it's being said and then later understand it.
If you had to tell your dad something through this medium, what would you tell him?
I'm deeply sorry.
You'd have to explain.
No, I wouldn't. I'm deeply sorry.
Huh? Yeah. No, you can't leave it hanging like that.
I have to. He wouldn't even want me to explain. No. Yes.
No. But you can't leave us like that.
There's a lot of things you don't understand about the royal family.
Hey.
Yes. And I will have to hope that my child doesn't do it.
You'd hope that your child doesn't do the same? I'm very sure it's the convent. Because we would have had a
beautiful reverend sister.
A reverend sister. Oheneba Caryn.
No.
Have communion here.
And then, Charlie.
But look at you. Oh man, thank you so much. I mean, it's been great spending time with you. I've enjoyed our conversation, and I'm very sure our friend who's listening in has also enjoyed it. I'm Lexis Bill, and this evening I've been spending time with Dr. Caryn Agyeman Prempeh, Oheneba Sewakobi. Oheneba Efiakobi Sewampem. That's right. That's daughter of His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, who celebrated his Silver Jubilee just last weekend with all the beautiful ensemble of rich Ashanti culture and regalia and everything. I mean, beautiful to celebrate Ghana. It was really good and I loved it. And today we just thought to get into a bit in her life and we've totally enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Oheneba.
Thank you for having me, Lexi.
And we will patronize Oheneba detergents as well. Come and check it out.
Thank you. Yeah. You still owe me a dancing competition.
Yeah. Samaba. Oh. Manya obema brafo aberehwemi anag. Owe samami wa himfia na.
And I can't dance. I have 2 left legs.
I'll teach you. Don't worry. I'll teach you.
You will teach me.
I've been teaching my colleagues here at Joy FM. So now they are all very good dancers. I will teach you. Don't worry. Leave that to me. I'll fix it. What are they saying?
Lexi, Charlie,
Oheneba.
I'm up for say. I started here.
Yeah.
The fact that you do buga the other way around.
We don't need to get violent here.
It's from the bottom violence to the top, right?
Where from this violence? Uncle Ken is here. Uncle Ken, isn't your him my media? Eh?
enjoyed the conversation.
Oh, have you?
And I wish you could continue way into my show.
Oh, I'm glad you've enjoyed it.
Yes,
But we're waiting to hear you as well. So we will just go sit back and enjoy the rhythms.
What a lovely conversation.
Thank you so
in
much.
In actual fact, I know her cousin. I don't know if it's her cousin. Is Leslie your cousin?
Yes.
Yeah, Leslie was married to my cousin.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Kojo
Yes,
Yantichi.
Uncle Kojo, yes.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
She's
I know
actually my sister.
yes, Leslie is your sister.
Yes,
because
my sister, yes.
she's actually your sister. Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yes, Leslie was married to my cousin, so I know Leslie very, very, very well.
Wow, very
And
small
I know
world.
her children also very well.
yes.
You know, it's nice seeing her. This is the first time I've seen Caryn.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Uncle Ken has the radio now, and right after the news, Ken's music mix with great rhythms will be on your radio. I'm Lexis Bill, and I'm back tomorrow at 3 o'clock here on Joy FM. Have a great evening.